If a swollen prostate is holding you hostage, you need to see this. You're looking at a highly magnified image of an enlarged prostate. And according to breakthrough research from scientists at the University of Pittsburgh, the big white globs in this image are actually the real reason why 99% of men suffer from prostate problems, like frequently needing to use the bathroom, never feeling like their bladder is completely empty, or waking up 4 or 5 times throughout the night with the urgent feeling that they need to go. So, can you guess what those white globs are? They're not calcium deposits, kidney stones, cysts, or tumors. I'll show you what they are in just a little while in this video. More importantly, you'll discover what you can do right now to destroy them forever, so you can once again enjoy that feeling of total control and relief as you empty your bladder fully. You'll be shocked by just how quickly and easily you can shrink your prostate back to its normal size. You'll never have to wake up at 3 a.m. feeling like you're going to burst as you scramble to the bathroom, and you'll finally be able to take that long-awaited road trip without having to plan every stop around the nearest toilet. Hey, it's George Young here, and inside this video, I'm going to be sharing a surprisingly powerful 7 seconds instant prostate relief technique that was first developed by scientists at the University of Pittsburgh and UC San Diego to quickly address your swollen prostate issues, freeing you from that feeling of always needing to go and the countless bathroom trips that come with it. And the moment you start using the relieving technique, you'll start, once again, be able to sleep throughout the night without waking up every few hours feeling like you're seconds away from peeing the bed. You'll never again feel that extreme frustration of standing over the toilet for minutes trying to squeeze out even a few drops of pee. And you'll never again have to suffer through the embarrassment of making trip after trip to the bathroom while out with friends or family, or even risking the shame of uncontrollable dribbling, or the pain and discomfort from trying to hold it in. That's because this technique gets to the real root cause of your overactive and swollen prostate, something I can guarantee your doctor has never told you about. Because even though hundreds of clinical trials prove this is really the culprit behind every single man's prostate issues, it also happens to be such a simple and easy fix that everyone from drug companies to the doctors who are on their payroll would rather you didn't know exists. What I'm talking about here has nothing to do with drugs like Flomax, invasive surgeries, weird stretches, DHT inhibitors, or herbs like saw palmetto. And I'll share exactly what this surprising culprit is in just a few moments. Plus, I'll also show you how you can finally regain control of your prostate forever, so that day after day and night after night, you can fully empty your bladder with a powerful stream. And you may even find yourself naturally drinking more fluids without feeling anxious about how it'll affect your need to go, since this method reduces the urgency and frequency of your bathroom trips by 97% on average. And while I know those are some pretty bold promises, I feel utterly confident making them, because not only did this prostate relieving technique work for me, after an embarrassing incident on the side of the highway left me soaked in my own urine in front of a police officer, it has also been used by more than 85,900 men from all walks of life. Men who had been miserable as their swollen prostates made it impossible to concentrate on anything or even sleep through the night, and who now say that their prostate problems have vanished entirely.
I've struggled with my prostate for years, and nothing I did seemed to make much difference. I tried medications and I tried cutting back on fluids, and that didn't seem to make any difference. And then I heard about this 7 second instant prostate relief technique, and it was a game changer. You know, now I'm at the point where I have a couple of long pees every day, and that's it. I mean, most days I forget that I have prostate issues at all.
I was skeptical. The only reason I watched your video and tried the techniques it talks about is because I was so desperate. Imagine my shock when it really worked. It's like I've got a whole new prostate. I'm getting a great night's sleep, which helps me think more clearly, so I'm less irritable at work. And what's even better, it solved my issues in the bedroom. I'm no longer scared of losing my erection and disappointing her once again. This has been a huge relief to me. And my wife? She's as thankful as I am.
Now it's your turn to join these incredible men, so let's get started right now. Like I said a moment ago, my name is George. And for the last 30 years, I've been a proud long-haul trucker. What I love about my job is the freedom and independence that comes from being on the open road. Which is why a few years ago, when my prostate threatened to take away that freedom by having me constantly pull over every 30 minutes, frantically looking for somewhere to relieve my screaming bladder, making it impossible for me to continue doing any of the highest-paying cross-country routes, it really freaked me out. Now, of course, at first the symptoms I experienced weren't too major. I'd hit the restroom before tucking into my sleeper cab for the night, but then laying in bed, I'd still feel an uncontrollable urge to pee, and I'd toss and turn, trying to ignore it, hoping sleep would overpower the urge. But instead, I jolt awake in the middle of the night with that same urge gnawing at me. These endless nights left me feeling constantly exhausted and drained, barely able to keep my eyes open on the long stretches of open highway. But I had to keep driving to put food on the table for my family, even though the lack of sleep made it downright dangerous. The endless cycle of disrupted sleep and constant pee breaks wreaked havoc on my body, yet I still had to haul myself in and out of the cab day after day just to make ends meet. I even kept old soda bottles in my truck to frantically pee in as I barreled down the highway. I felt shame burning inside when I'd look over at the warm bottle of urine sitting in my cup holder like a toddler who had wet himself. And if you're battling with prostate issues right now, you probably know exactly how crippling it is to go through each day on broken sleep. You wake up and your body feels like it's dragging. Your brain feels like it's wrapped in a thick fog. You can't be the partner, parent, or employee you want to be. Intimate moments with your spouse become anxiety-ridden because you can't perform how you desire. Work suffers as your concentration crumbles and productivity lags. Your sense of value and self-worth takes a major hit across all aspects of life. Ultimately, you start to feel less of a man. That's how it was for me, at least. And while I knew these were textbook symptoms of prostate issues, I thought maybe I could tweak a few habits and it would all go away. So I limited my liquids before bed, I reduced my coffee intake, even when I was dragging. I tried natural supplements, and I even cut back on having the occasional beer. But no matter what, my prostate problems only worsened. And soon, it wasn't just nights that were a problem. At gas stations, while refueling, at rest stops, during meals, I always felt the overwhelming urge to pee. But whenever I did rush to the restroom, I'd just be standing there, counting the tiles, praying for even a trickle to come out. And the worst part is how my sex life took a severe hit too. Getting or keeping an erection became a battle. And even though my wife assured me that it was okay, I could see the disappointment in her eyes each time I couldn't make it happen. Honestly, it made me feel like a weak man. It was like I'd aged decades in just a few months. I went from road warrior to a grumpy old guy who was constantly complaining about his swollen prostate. And while, of course, I tried things like alpha blockers and other prescription drugs, it didn't really help. That's when my doctor started talking about minimally invasive surgeries. But between the staggering price tag, the thought of them cutting through my private areas or sticking tubes down a hole in my body that nothing should go into, and the list of horrifying potential complications like permanent ED, risk of incontinence, my semen flowing backward into the bladder during ejaculation. Those surgeries didn't seem all that minimal to me, and I was desperate to avoid them. And then things went from bad to worse. After my constant bladder problems led to the most humiliating moment of my life. I hate talking about this, but I'm going to share since what it's ended up leading me to. The real shocking reason why men have prostate problems starting in their 40s or 50s. It has nothing to do with age, genetics, or your DHT levels. And this is also the only reason I was ultimately able to discover an incredible effective prostate relieving technique that anyone can use immediately to shrink their oversized and overactive prostate and get back to feeling normal. It happened while I was taking a route from Dallas up to Seattle. I was already behind schedule thanks to the constant pee breaks I was taking that ended in nothing but a few weak little drops dribbling out. So that day I was determined to push through, fighting the constant urge to go as best I could. But after a few hours of driving, I felt the pressure building up in my bladder. And it was more intense than ever. It was like a dam about to burst. I had no choice but to pull over, not even with an empty bottle in sight. And as I dashed out of the truck, unbuckling my belt, I barely noticed the police cruiser on the other side of the road. Fumbling with my zipper, I finally managed to relieve myself on the side of my rig. But instead of the expected torrent, it was just a few mocking drips. By now, I was used to this happening, and it still felt like a sadistic joke. And that's when I heard the crunch of gravel under boots. Looking up, I saw a stern-faced police officer walking toward me. My heart sank. My face flushed hot with embarrassment. "You know, I could arrest you for public indecency, right?" he shouted at me. And the best I could do was stammer out an explanation, tripping over my words as I tried to explain the urgency and frustration I felt. As the officer listened, his face softened a bit and he started taking pity on me. He said that he understood the situation as his 90-year-old grandfather struggled with the same problem. So he let me off with just a ticket, but the damage had already been done. I felt humiliated, like I was a stupid toddler who couldn't even control his bladder. And the worst part was that when I climbed back into my cab, I looked down and saw there was a wet stain on my pants where I couldn't stop the dribbling after the officer interrupted me. and when I caught a whiff of myself, all I could smell was stale piss. I felt less of a man, a deflated, defeated version of my former self. My prostate was no longer just a medical condition. I had become its hostage. And if you had told me then that just a few weeks later I'd stumble onto a strange and shockingly effective prostate-relieving technique that would rapidly and completely free me from the chains of constant bathroom trips, or that it would help over 85,900 other guys to do the same thing so they no longer had to wake up 3, 4, or even 5 times a night, and they could once again enjoy a round of golf or enjoy a movie or even drive for a few hours without the constant fear of discomfort that always comes from needing to pee, I would have thought you were nuts. But that's exactly what happened. So let me go ahead and explain. You see, after that horrific moment on the side of the road, I'd felt like I'd really hit rock bottom, especially since I had to report the ticket to my company, and they started putting me on shorter routes that paid way less money, and even hinting that I should consider early retirement. And that would have been a major hit to my family's income that we simply could not afford. It made me desperate. So I decided to take matters into my own hands by trying to figure out if there was anything out there for swollen prostates that my doctor hadn't told me about. So anytime I wasn't out on the road, I'd spend time searching the internet for anything I could about swollen prostates, whether it was holing up in the corner booth of a truck stop diner with my laptop and a cold cup of coffee, or sneaking in research late at night once my family was asleep. And after 2 weeks of finding nothing but the same old tired advice like cutting back on alcohol, drinking more water, and limiting caffeine, I was just about to give up when I stumbled onto a really strange-looking scientific study that immediately caught my eye. This study was done by a team of scientists at the University of Pittsburgh, and in it, they seem to be saying that fat cells inside our bodies can surround our prostates, and that this causes our prostates to become swollen, leading us to having issues peeing, which was really interesting to me because that clearly meant that the usual remedies that get passed around for swollen prostates are clearly not solving the real issue. But of course, I'm a trucker and not some scientist, so I knew I needed some help understanding this study, and it was actually important, which is why I reached out to my friend Mark. Mark and I have known each other since childhood, but while my life took more than a few detours after high school, Mark had gone right to college, then on to one of the nation's top 10 medical schools where he finished first in his entire class. And after working for one of the most famous medical clinics in Arizona for 20 years, he decided to open a series of weight loss centers across the U.S., which have been very successful. So while Mark wasn't a urologist or anything like that, he did have a lot of experience in medicine, and I knew that he knew a lot about how fat works inside our bodies. So I figured maybe he'd be able to help me make sense of the study I was looking at. So I gave Mark a call, telling him about my problem, and he asked me for the study I discovered. Then just a few days later, we both found ourselves sitting together in a booth at a restaurant we'd been going to since we were in the 3rd grade. And after a few minutes of catching up, Mark looked me dead in the eyes, and he said, "Can we talk about that study you sent me already? It's really exciting." So we jumped right into it. "Okay, you know how fat tends to pile up in specific areas of the body?" Mark asked me. "Like the belly, the hips, the thighs of people who are overweight? And it causes all the kinds of health problems and makes people feel sluggish and tired. This study is saying that the same thing is happening inside your prostate too." Mark explained that the scientists from the University of Pittsburgh had found, and what's really happening to people who have prostate problems, fat cells are piling up in the tissues in and around our swollen prostates, creating these thick, dense deposits that wrap around our prostate like a vice grip that suffocates and squeezes this gland. This explained the urgent feeling I had of needing to pee, but only being able to push out a few pathetic drops, creating a feeling of pressure, and even blocking the flow of urine from our kidneys to our bladder. "I know that sounds kind of crazy," Mark told me as he took a pause to sip his beer. "But the research here is actually extremely compelling. UC San Diego, the Department of Urology at Central South University, the University of Pittsburgh, the University of Munich's famed medical school in Germany, they're all finding the same thing, that these fat cells form thick deposits that latch onto your prostate. And it's even these deposits that make your prostate swollen. Although actually, a better term would be that your prostate is fatter." You can see what Mark was talking about here. On the left, you can see a highly magnified image of what the cells around our prostate are supposed to look like. And you see those big white globs in the image on the right? Well, those are the fatty deposits that Mark was talking about. And here's what that looks like when you zoom out. It's wild, right? But Mark said that when you think about it, this breakthrough research actually does make a lot of sense, since we know that other organs like your liver and heart stop working like they're supposed to when they're surrounded by fat. Why should your prostate be any different? More and more scientists are referring to what I'm describing as fatty prostate, Mark continued. And this phrase is actually way more accurate than swollen or enlarged. Now, everything Mark was saying made sense to me, except what I didn't understand was why this would be happening. So that's what I asked Mark, and he said that based on the research he'd been doing since I sent him that study, the answer has to do with estrogen. And that caught me off guard. But Mark explained that as men age, their estrogen levels naturally rise. For some guys, you can really see it. They accumulate belly fat and start growing man boobs. But even if you don't have noticeable weight gain, the scientific community agrees that men's estrogen levels creep up as they get older. And decades of research shows that when estrogen rises in men, it causes fat cells to accumulate around places like the prostate. Doctors have just never connected the dots between man boobs and prostate fat until now, but it makes perfect sense. Estrogen is the hidden culprit behind both. What they hadn't realized is that one of the major places this fat gathers is around our prostates. There are a ton of studies showing how higher estrogen levels in men cause swollen prostates, Mark told me. It's just that until this discovery about fatty prostate, nobody had put one and one together. And then Mark told me something even more surprising, which is that even if your testosterone levels are higher than a horny bull, you can still have those fatty deposits building up around your prostate that make it feel swollen. And the reason why is because a group of chemicals called perfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAs for short. I'd never even heard of PFAs before, and maybe you haven't either. But Mark said that these chemicals are found in everyday items like non-stick cookware, clothing, cleaning products, and personal care products like shampoo and dental floss, and even the packaging that a lot of foods come in. And what more and more research is finding is that when we're exposed to these chemicals over the course of several years, these PFAs literally trick our bodies into producing more and more estrogen, which of course then leads to more and more fat cells being deposited on our prostate, and thus frequently feeling the urgent need to go, then only being able to squeeze out a few drops. You can actually see a direct link here, Mark told me, because PFAs started getting used in all kinds of household products in the 1970s. And meanwhile, the American Urological Association has found that enlarged prostates have increased 42% in America since the early 1970s, while in places like Japan, where men are exposed to a significant amount of these chemicals, as many as 80% of men report prostate issues by the time they reach the age of 60. Now, as Mark finished explaining all this, it was like all the pieces were starting to click. And it finally made sense why nothing I'd tried had been able to help with my prostate problems, like beta blockers, saw palmetto, watching what liquids I drank and when I drank them. None of these had anything to do with my fatty prostate. And while that was frustrating, it also made me feel excited, since I was hoping that maybe Mark had discovered a way to get rid of these sticky blankets of fat that were choking off my prostate, and that it would finally bring me real, long-lasting relief. So, I asked Mark what we could do about fatty prostate, and he said that the solution was actually very logical. Just destroy the deposits of fat that are already latching onto our prostates, while making sure new deposits don't form in the future. But then Mark said that while what he was telling me about made sense in theory, he wasn't a urologist. And while he did know a ton about fat cells and losing weight, he had no idea how to specifically target these deposits of fat cells that surround our prostates. Let me think about it for a few weeks, Mark told me. Several weeks passed without me hearing a peep from Mark, and my frequent and urgent need to urinate kept worsening by the day. The sleepless nights were leaving me more exhausted than ever. The embarrassing leaks were becoming more frequent. My mood was plummeting, as this problem consumed my life, and I was starting to worry that maybe he'd hit a dead end. But then I felt my phone vibrate, and it was Mark. His voice was filled with excitement. I think I found something that could help. He told me that ever since our last conversation that he'd been wanting to tackle this whole fatty prostate issue head on. So he'd spent hours combing through medical journals and had spoken with some of the brightest minds in urology and metabolic research. And he was now convinced that he had come up with something that would both destroy these fatty deposits from forming around our prostates while making sure new deposits never got created. And to his immense surprise, Mark said that what he discovered wasn't some complicated medical procedure, drug, or even a weight loss diet, but instead a series of very unique compounds that were normally available to research labs at places like Harvard and MIT, but that when combined should be able to dissolve these fat deposits around our prostate while making sure they never return. I've nicknamed them instant prostate relieving compounds, Mark told me with a smile, since they basically relieve your prostate from the death grip of those fat deposits. And then Mark went on to explain that what each of these prostate relieving compounds is, and I want you to pay careful attention to this next part, because these absolutely hold the key to relieving rapidly the pressure on your prostate. so that you can regain control over your bladder and finally say goodbye to those embarrassing pee leaks and frequent bathroom breaks. I'm going to share these compounds with you right now. The first instant prostate relieving compound Mark told me about was a special lycopene from the Suriname cherry. Mark said that while lycopene was well known in the United States, but this form from the Suriname cherries was significantly more potent and effective. In Brazil, they actually call the Suriname cherry the prostate protector. And then he told me that in a major study from the American Society for Experimental Biology, when scientists studied the effects of these extremely pure lycopene from these Suriname cherries, they were amazed to see that it literally stops the formation of fat deposits around your prostate. And he said this finding wasn't just a one-off finding either. Because in a study published in the Journal of Biomarkers and Prevention, scientists found that those who took an extract of pure lycopene saw the fat deposits around the prostate decrease by 88%, leading to a much improved urinary flow and a much easier time getting an erection as a result. And if that wasn't enough to get excited about, Mark said that yet another clinical trial was published in the Journal of Biomedical Science. Scientists found that when a large group of men who had enlarged prostates took a pure extract of lycopene for just a few weeks, their enlarged prostate shrank by a staggering 43.3%, and their symptoms of BPH decreased by 46% after just 5 weeks. While another large clinical trial found that this special form of lycopene was over 500% more effective than a placebo at destroying these fatty deposits and eliminating symptoms of BPH. Isn't that amazing? I mean, just imagine a life that's free of frequent bathroom trips, sleepless nights, or embarrassing drips and leaks, and finally being able to watch an entire movie or go for a long drive without squirming in discomfort because you're no longer a slave to your swollen, fatty prostate. That's what those studies were saying is possible. And remember, lycopene from Suriname cherries is just the very first compound that Mark shared with me. So let's move on to the next one, a unique variant of a plant extract known as sea buckthorn. Mark told me that sea buckthorn is a shrub that's native to the cold grassland of Mongolia, where it's been used in traditional medicine for centuries. And he said that in a groundbreaking study done by the Shaanxi Agricultural University, they found that this special extract relentlessly targets and destroys the fatty deposits that suffocate our prostates, while also stopping the creation of new fat cells around your prostate too. And Mark said that in another major study, this one done by the Transcriptomics Laboratory in India, sea buckthorn was found to enhance prostate health by stopping harmful cells from growing around it, all while boosting the regeneration speed and capacity of the good cells. Can you believe that? Between lycopene from the Suriname cherry and sea buckthorn alone, your prostate symptoms could go away entirely. Which means no more rushing to the bathroom only to spend minutes trying to push a stream of urine out. And these two ingredients are only more effective when you combine them with the third compound Mark told me about, which is jaboticaba skin extract. Jaboticaba is a rare Brazilian fruit that's often referred to as the Brazilian grape. And sure enough, multiple clinical trials have found that jaboticaba halts new fat cells from crowding around your prostate, and that it also flushes away the existing fatty deposits that are creating so much pressure. And when you let jaboticaba work its magic, the results are really incredible. Because in a major clinical trial published in the prestigious Journal of Food and Function, when 70 guys were given jaboticaba skin extract for a few weeks, their swollen prostates shrank by 74% on average as those fat deposits melted away. And another major study that was published in the journal Prostate in 2020, they found that for men who were given the right form of jaboticaba skin extract, 99.2% of their prostate symptoms vanished after 5 weeks. Can you imagine it? Purified lycopene, sea buckthorn extract, and jaboticaba skin extract, all teaming up inside you to destroy those deposits of fat cells that have been the source of all this trouble, while making sure new deposits never form in the future. It would be pretty much impossible for your prostate to stay enlarged for you to have bathroom issues, right? How much would you save on medications, doctor visits, and insurance premiums? How much could your life change? Probably a lot. Then he told me about a potent concentration of Philostachys edulis extract that comes from a rare and protected form of bamboo called tortoise shell bamboo. But don't worry, it has nothing to do with actual tortoises. This bamboo gets its name from the unique pattern on the stems that vaguely resembles tortoise shells. But it's an incredibly resilient plant that grows tall and fast in tropical climates. And while it's scientifically proven to drastically improve both urine flow and volume so that each time you pee, it's a full and powerful stream instead of a weak little trickle. He also added silymarin from milk thistle. Yokohama pumpkin seed extract, and Azadirachta indica leaf extract, or neem, as it's known in some parts of the world, which he said were a powerhouse trio of compounds that had all been proven in numerous clinical trials to stop estrogen production in men. And he said that was super important since it was estrogen that causes these fatty deposits to form around our prostates in the first place. And he said that was probably why all three of these ingredients had been shown to improve fatty prostate by over 70%. I genuinely believe that we can create a solution here that can help countless men suffering from an enlarged prostate, Mark told me, regardless of their age, no matter how long they've been dealing with this issue, even if they've been struggling with constant bathroom trips, pee leaks, and even erectile dysfunction. And Mark's excitement really was contagious, because now all I wanted to do was try these compounds for myself, which is why we immediately started working together, taking advantage of every spare moment I had outside of driving to research and find the purest medical grade for each of these compounds, whether it was scrolling on my phone while waiting for my rig to be loaded, or late at night in the sleeper cab after a long haul. That way we could see how they really worked in the real world, for regular guys like me. It was not easy. Tracking down the purest forms of each compound took over 6 weeks. We had to ensure that they were high grade and truly able to destroy the fatty deposits that surround our prostates. Then came the challenge of mixing all the compounds together in the right proportions, which took us months to get right. It was exhausting, and at times it even tested our friendship. All the while, my own frequent and urgent trips to the bathroom kept worsening and my frustration mounted. But finally, after testing 67 different formulations, I was holding the fruits of our labor in my hand, in the form of an easy-to-swallow capsule that included a very carefully measured dose of each compound Mark had discovered. Now all that was left was to see how it worked. Based on the purity of the extracts we'd used, Mark's considerable expertise, and the endless studies behind each of these compounds, we knew it should be extremely effective. But I was still nervous and swallowed that first capsule, and then all I could do was wait and see what would happen. After the first few days, though, I gotta tell you, I didn't notice any immediate change. I was still making frequent bathroom trips, and I still felt like I needed to pee, but I didn't get discouraged, since Mark had told me that these fatty deposits were restricting my prostate and causing all my discomfort. They wouldn't just vanish overnight. So I continued taking these easy-to-swallow capsules filled with potent compounds day after day, and sure enough, by the end of the very first week, I could sense a shift in my body. At first it was subtle. I found myself engrossed in a movie without the usual urgent to relieve myself every 10 minutes. Or I'd be on a long stretch of highway between stops and I'd realize that I hadn't needed to pull over in hours. Or I'd wake up after a night's sleep and realize I hadn't been up 3 to 5 times like before. And as days turned into weeks, the changes became impossible to ignore. Before long, not only was I making fewer frantic trips to the bathroom, but when I did go, my stream was stronger with no more stop and start flow. But to my amazement, my energy levels were also on the rise, and I was even starting to get spontaneous erections again too. The constant feeling of holding it in, the embarrassment of leaks, the interrupted sleep patterns, they all were gradually disappearing. All the fear and anxiety I'd been suffering from for years just faded away. And I gotta tell you, it was the most liberating feeling in the world. And the whole process was so simple and hassle-free. I mean, I just literally had to take this capsule and everything in my life changed. And what's even more amazing is that I'd achieved all this with a completely natural solution, free from harmful side effects. And without spending thousands of dollars on painful procedures or medications, I'd regained control of my entire life. When my prostate issues were at their worst, they made me feel old and helpless. But now, a few months later, an entire universe of possibilities has opened back up to me. No more avoiding social events, no more feeling ashamed of my condition, no more pulling over constantly to find a bush to pee in. And I was really pleased about how this completely eliminated my bedroom issues too, and so was my wife. Because after being out on the lonely road for days on end, my wife found me irresistible when I got home, unable to keep her hands off me, thanks to my renewed virility and stamina, and I felt like a rock star knowing that I'd be able to perform when the time came. The best part of all, though, was what happened a few months later, when I was doing a long route in my truck going from Los Angeles to New Orleans. I'd been on the road for 8 hours, just me, the open road, and the radio, when I realized something incredible. I hadn't needed to stop for a bathroom break, not even once. My bladder felt calm, under control, no sudden urges, no discomfort. I was just normal. I was so thrilled. Because I wasn't needing to take constant bathroom breaks anymore, I started making more deliveries on time, and my boss, he even said that he wished the younger drivers half my age were half as reliable as I was. I loved hearing that. And after experiencing such a life-changing transformation thanks to the prostate-relieving compounds Mark had discovered, I knew we had a responsibility to share this discovery with everyone else. So Mark and I worked together to find a manufacturer who can help us bring this formula to as many men as possible. And then, once we'd figured that out, we started reaching out to men who were sharing their struggles with BPH in online forums to see if they wanted to try this breakthrough for themselves. And the response we got was overwhelming. Because of the more than 200 volunteers who tried out this prostate-relieving breakthrough, literally every single one of them said the results they saw were nothing short of miraculous.
I thought I was destined to live the rest of my life in the bathroom. The constant urgency, the sleepless nights, it was unbearable. But this formula changed my life. I feel like I've been given a new lease on life. My sleep is uninterrupted, my confidence is back, and I don't have to plan my life around the nearest bathroom. Thank you.
I was skeptical at first, I won't lie. But the changes I've seen are undeniable. I've regained control over my life and over my bladder. I can enjoy time with my friends on the golf course, I can go on long car rides without worry, and my nights are restful again. And the best part, I feel like a man again in the bedroom. My wife's noticed a change too. This formula has truly been a game changer.
My biggest fear was my wife leaving me because of my constant bathroom trips and the impact on our intimate moments. But thanks to your formula, I've regained my confidence in the bedroom, and I feel like a new man again, no longer haunted by the fear of wetting the bed or waking up in the middle of the night unable to pee. Can't thank you enough.
Hearing these testimonials has been both humbling and exhilarating, and now we couldn't be more excited to share this same prostate-relieving breakthrough with you. We call it Prostalite. The ultimate breakthrough for men who have been battling the uncomfortable, often embarrassing symptoms of an enlarged, swollen prostate. This potent formula is meticulously designed to target and destroy those fatty deposits that have been suffocating and choking your prostate. From the day you start using it, you'll feel an astonishing transformation beginning to take place. In just a few days, you'll start noticing a striking difference in the way your body functions, with fewer trips to the bathroom, regardless of the time of day or night. The frustrating and mortifying pee leaks will become a thing of the past. It'll be as though your entire body is slowly regaining its strength. A life that's brimming with opportunities because your swollen prostate no longer makes you feel self-conscious or alone. Simply take 1 capsule per day, and that's all you need to free your prostate from those fatty deposits that are making your life a living hell. We use only the premium compound in this prostate-relieving breakthrough, and every ingredient is verified and certified for purity by independent labs to ensure the highest standards. This means this formula doesn't contain harmful substances. It's crafted with care and precision in an ultra-modern facility that strictly adheres to FDA guidelines and good manufacturing practices. And it's proudly made right here in the USA. Since we introduced it to the public, this prostate-relieving breakthrough has been flying off the shelves. In just 4 months, we've sold more than 85,900 bottles, and the numbers continue to rise daily. Men from all across the country who've been dealing with a swollen prostate and its troublesome effects finally have a natural solution that works, and they're spreading the word too. But given the high demand, we may run out soon. Our premium ingredients are sourced from pristine locations around the world, and restocking isn't a quick process. That's why it's wise to secure your supply of this prostate-relieving formula as soon as possible. We don't want you to pause your treatment before you fully reclaimed your freedom, because in that case, the fat cells will simply start blanketing your prostate again. From what we've observed, and based on our feedback from our customers, the best results are seen when this formula is used for at least 180 days. This ensures a long-term solution for your swollen prostate. Don't let your enlarged prostate control your life. Secure your supply today and bid farewell to the discomfort and embarrassment. We've made sure that this instant prostate relieving breakthrough is affordable for every man who needs it. After selecting the best ingredients and keeping production costs low, we're proud to offer you this game-changing breakthrough at the lowest possible price. You'll no longer need to spend your hard-earned money on expensive medications or invasive surgeries with uncertain outcomes. The prostate-relieving breakthrough is only accessible on this website and only while our stock remains. We're determined to keep this solution exclusive and not mass-produced, as we know that would only compromise its potency. We'll only produce as much as we can personally supervise. So if you find that this formula elsewhere, be aware it's not the genuine one. We'll never sell on Amazon or eBay because we can't guarantee the meticulous quality control we uphold on such fast platforms. The prostate-relieving breakthrough can alleviate your prostate issues now and maintain your comfort and confidence for years to come. Say farewell to costly, temporary solutions that only mask the discomfort of your swollen prostate. Instead, you can ensure a comfortable, uninterrupted night's sleep, free from frequent bathroom visits. Imagine not having to worry about embarrassing pee leaks when you're out in public, and feel the relief that comes from regaining control over your body, or the joy that comes from reigniting your intimate life and experiencing every detail of your partner's affection. With this prostate-relieving breakthrough, you'll never miss another peaceful night. No more waking up grumpy, irritated, or scatterbrained. When you invest in this instant prostate-relieving breakthrough today, you'll pay less than you would for a 15-minute doctor's visit, uncomfortable diagnostic procedures, and prescription medications. Yet, unlike any of those approaches, this breakthrough formula is what Mark and I believe to be the only real chance of shrinking your prostate for good. And when you consider that only one facility in the world meets our quality control expectations, ensuring each capsule contains the purest and most potent form of these ingredients on the planet, today's special low price is a steal if you ask me. Because this is not about making a profit. After all, I really enjoy being a trucker, seen in this beautiful country of ours. I have no plans to retire anytime soon. Instead, this is about restoring the freedom, independence, and dignity that a swollen prostate takes away from hardworking men. This is about restoring and rejuvenating the prostate health of every single man who's suffering. Anyone who is constantly battling the discomfort of an enlarged prostate, whose sleep is always disrupted by frequent bathroom trips at night, who's embarrassed by unexpected leaks, and whose love life and intimacy are in shambles. That's why we work tirelessly to bring you this solution for less than $2 a day. That's all it takes to bid farewell to your prostate issues forever. But this special discounted package is only available today on this webpage and while supplies last. It's the biggest discount we've ever offered, and we're only doing it because we know the significant difference this will make in your life. For 6 bottles of this prostate-relieving breakthrough, you'll invest only $49 per bottle. And this is the right quantity to truly and completely reclaim your prostate health, as you destroy those fatty deposits that are leaching onto your prostate and ensure that they never, ever return. And if you choose your package right now, you risk absolutely nothing, because we want you to be certain that this prostate-relieving breakthrough is right for you. We offer every single person a 60-day money-back guarantee. That means you have a full 60 days to test drive this prostate-relieving breakthrough for yourself. I know you'll be thrilled with your results. But if for any reason you're not 100% satisfied with your order, simply contact our friendly support staff, send back all the bottles, even if they're empty, and they'll issue a refund. And you know what? If you buy our 6-bottle package and your prostate issues go away even faster, feel free to send us the bottles you haven't used and you'll get your money back for every single one of them. Even though if I were you, I would save them for my buddies or family. That's how confident we are that this solution can do wonders. To put it bluntly, if for any reason you are not thrilled with our solution, you pay nothing. Or if your prostate health improves quickly and you still have some unused bottles left, we'll give you back the money for them. That's just how I believe business should be done. Either you love our product or you don't pay a dime. What could be simpler than that? And because you're covered by our 60-day no-hassle money-back guarantee, why not take advantage of our 6-month highly discounted package? It really is the smartest option. I mean, you're protected either way. If you love this prostate-relieving breakthrough, you're locked into our lowest rate of just $49 per bottle, saving more than anybody else. And if this prostate health restoring formula doesn't work for you, then you simply ask for a refund and lose nothing. No matter what happens, you truly only have everything to gain and nothing to lose. As I mentioned earlier, estrogen naturally rises in men as we age. But what you may not realize is that higher estrogen levels means lower testosterone levels. That's because as estrogen levels creep up, they directly suppress testosterone production. It's a vicious cycle. And with our breakthrough formula, you're going to be destroying those deposits of fat cells that have accumulated on your prostate, relieving you from those pesky nightly bathroom visits and pee leaks. So why stop there? Now is the perfect time to also address lowering estrogen and restoring testosterone levels after they've been chronically suppressed. Once you invest in 3 or 6 bottles, we'll also give you 2 bonus online guides worth $148, absolutely free. You'll gain access to them immediately once you place your order. That's how confident we are that you'll love what this prostate cleansing dropper has in store for you. The first guide is Mastering Masculinity, Virility Boosting Secrets for the Mature Man. Inside, you'll discover the surprising man food that skyrockets testosterone levels more quickly than you ever thought possible. The confidence trick developed at the University of Cambridge that's scientifically proven to boost testosterone and make you feel on top of the world. The 1-minute daily routine that can increase testosterone levels by up to 120%. It's not exercise. And the most effective way to lower estrogen levels when they've become too high, something most men should be doing after turning 50. You'll find all these secrets and more inside this guide, and it's yours free when you order the discounted 3 or 6 month package. The second free guide I'll be sharing with you today is truly special. It's called Bedroom Mastering: Unleashing the Beast Within, your guide to phenomenal sex. Inside, you'll not only find a step-by-step plan for reigniting your sex life, but also the #1 sex position that will have her screaming with pleasure and begging for more. 99% of men have no clue what this position is. The ancient Chinese flying seagull sex method to have the most mind-blowing orgasms of your life for both you and her. The single most common mistake you can make when having sex. Women will never admit it, but it's a complete turnoff. The shockingly simple method to lasting as long as you want in bed, to have her shaking with pleasure and loving every second with you. Both guides are yours, free, when you purchase the 3-pack or 6-pack on sale, and you'll gain immediate access to them. And when you order the discounted 3-month or 6-month package, you'll also get free shipping, which is an additional savings of $9.95. But keep in mind, both the special multi-bottle discount and the free shipping are limited, because once we're out of this prostate relieving breakthrough, it might take us months to manufacture a fresh batch. So, select the 6-bottle package or any other package below this video right now to secure your order. This is truly one of the smartest and most crucial investments you'll ever make to alleviate your prostate issues and improve your overall health. So, considering all that you've heard, I'm sure you must be eager to try this formula for yourself. All you have to do to claim your discount is simply click on the button below now to order the 6-month supply or whichever quantity seems right for you. After you've chosen your package, you'll be directed to our secure order page, where you can provide your shipping and payment details. We use the same top-grade 256-bit encryption technology as major online retailers like Amazon, eBay, and Walmart. So, rest assured, your information is safe with us. Once you hit enter, you'll land on our confirmation page, which will carefully outline all of your order details and give you every piece of information you need. Now, I need to caution you, sometimes we face temporary out of stocks. Obviously, we do everything possible to prevent this, but that's just the reality of distributing a product like this to so many folks, placing substantial orders all at once. But don't fret. As long as you're watching this video right now and don't see an out-of-stock icon popping up, then we still have bottles of this prostate relieving breakthrough available. But I wanted to share this because I can't predict when we might run out of stock next. And I don't want you to be in the unfortunate situation where you fall in love with this breakthrough only to return to this page a month later to find that it's entirely sold out. So that's one more reason why our 6-month option is the most popular. Because not only will you experience the full benefit of this breakthrough, but you'll have ample time to place a follow-up order if you wish to. So go ahead and order the 6-month supply or whatever feels right for you. And now we're at that stage where it's time to take a stand. You've already discovered the science behind this prostate relieving breakthrough, and you've heard the incredible stories of men just like you who have rejuvenated their lives in mere minutes a day. Mark and I both stand fully behind this product, and we've done everything within our power to make your order today one of the simplest, most logical decisions you've ever made. Regardless of the size of the order you place, you're 100% protected by our 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee. In the end, the decision rests in your hands. You're the only one who can take the first stride towards a radically new life. If you're still feeling a bit undecided, then I have to urge you, don't let fear or doubt hinder you, because you're 100% safe and secure. And when you really ponder it, what's the alternative? I can readily imagine all the failed solutions you've tried in the past that left you feeling frustrated, embarrassed, and desperate. They don't work for you because they don't address the root cause of your enlarged prostate. The fatty cells that hold your prostate and water pipes in a vice grip. But now there's something entirely different right in front of you. You could exit this page right now after hearing everything I've shared, but what will that change? You'll just end up back on that treadmill of disappointments. Another expensive prescription medication, the humiliation of another doctor's visit, and finding out your prostate is growing again because your condition is deteriorating, waking up multiple times to use the bathroom, or the embarrassing pee leaks, the way it affects your confidence, your romantic life, and the world becoming more stressful. You and I both know that's no way to live. That's why I'm extending my hand to offer you a way out. You don't even have to say yes. All you have to do is say maybe. You could be just moments away from feeling like you got a new lease on life. A life that's free from frequent bathroom visits, where you sleep through the nights peacefully, and where you live each day feeling in control. All of this and more could be just on the other side of this page. And while whatever you decide is entirely up to you, I sincerely hope you make the right choice and shrink your prostate for good. All you have to do to get started is just choose your package from below right now, and I'll see you on the other side to help you continue your journey, regardless of your choice. I want to personally thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I wish you all the health and happiness in the world. Still with me? I understand I've given you a lot to digest, so let's take a minute to tackle some of the most common questions I get. Question 1, how does this prostate relieving breakthrough work again? As I mentioned earlier, our groundbreaking formula is packed with unique compounds that specifically target those deposits of fat cells which accumulate on your prostate, adding pressure and making it appear larger, while making you frequently feel like you gotta go. Between estrogen levels rising as you age and toxic chemicals like PFAs being added to more and more household items, it means more and more men are suffering from this fatty prostate issue than ever. This leads to frequent urination, interrupted sleep due to bathroom visits, embarrassing leaks, and even erectile dysfunction. Our unique compounds in the formula combat all of this by targeting and eliminating those deposits of fat cells, relieving your prostate from their grip, and making sure no new fatty deposits ever form in the future either. Question 2, who should take this prostate relieving breakthrough? Well, if you had asked me this question a decade ago, I would have said only guys who are dealing with swollen prostates. But with the growing number of men suffering from these symptoms, I recommend anyone who is even slightly concerned about their prostate health to try it. Question 3, what happens after I click the button below? Once you choose your desired package, you'll be directed to our completely secure checkout page. You just need to input your payment details and confirm your order. And don't worry, there's no automatic billing or anything like that. After that, your order of this prostate relieving breakthrough will arrive at your doorstep in a discreet package within 5 to 7 business days. Question 4, what if it doesn't work for me? That's simple. Keep in mind, this prostate relieving breakthrough comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. You can order this breakthrough formula today, and you have a full 60 days to decide if it's right for you. If you're like the thousands of other men who have already experienced the benefits, and you're going to be ecstatic with the results. But if for any reason you're not, just reach out to our customer service team and we will refund your investment. Question 5, how long will this prostate relieving breakthrough be available? That's a tough one to answer. My aim is to help as many men as I can regain their confidence and live a life free from the constant worry about bathroom visits. But due to the groundbreaking nature of this formula, it's uncertain how long this prostate relieving breakthrough will be available. Plus, the current global situation has affected supply chains, making ingredients harder to source. That's why it's crucial for you to get this breakthrough today, especially because it comes with a 60-day 100% money-back guarantee, which means there is zero risk to you. And it's also why you should consider stocking up. Question 6. All right, I want to try this instant prostate relieving breakthrough. Now what? That's the easy part. Just click one of the buttons below and choose your package. Keep in mind you can save over 70% by choosing our most popular 6-bottle package. Just fill out your details on the next page to complete your order, and this prostate relieving breakthrough will be in your hands within the next 5 to 7 business days. And remember, there's no risk due to my ironclad 60-day guarantee. This presentation is now coming to an end, and I want to thank you for sticking with me until the very end. Go ahead and choose your package now. Use this prostate relieving breakthrough as directed for at least 30 days. Then, reach out and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.